What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another tour review, and yes, the man that stands in front of you is the one and only Ludens from the epic Hideo Kojima Productions logo. Now, this figure here is actually made by Max Factory Figma. You've seen this figure before, but just on a larger scale, coming from 1,000 Toys. Now, this figure is obviously a shorter version. This is a 1/12th version of Ludens. So let's go ahead and jump into the review and see what good old Ludens have to offer to see if he falls short compared to the large version. So as always, let's jump into a good old nice 360 view of good old Ludens. So as for details, Figma does a really great job on capturing these nice small details in this figure. It did really good, actually. Like, it's not bad at all. Not bad, not one bit. All the literature that's scattered throughout the outfit looks really good. And the overall proportions is nice. So that is that. Ludens here is actually slightly taller than your standard Figma. He actually falls neck and neck with good old Guts from Berserk. So they're pretty much the same height. Ludens is probably like a smidget taller, but not by much. I know it may look like he's actually, yeah, he is actually shorter. It just looks different from my point of view. But he's slightly shorter than Guts. Obviously, he's taller than Guts if you're counting the fin on his head. Now, as for another comparison here is Brain Art's Faye. And that should give you a general idea of how tall Ludens is. It's a pretty large figure. All right. So as for the weight of Ludens, he's actually pretty heavy. He's not a light figure. He's actually, I would say, if you want to compare him to a die-cast metal figure, such as this one right here, he's actually maybe a smidget heavier than this, actually. So he's not a light figure by any means. For him not to have any type of metal on him, the plastic is nice and sturdy. So you are going to get something with some weight to it. So that's going to make your money actually feel like it went to a great place. Now, Ludens here comes with a few accessories. Some you've seen before, some you have not seen before. And one of the accessories I'll show you at the end of this video. So the only thing that you're getting as a perk coming from this particular figure, which I don't really see as a perk, but everybody got something different that they like. You're going to get a black flag versus just the transparent flag that 1,000 Toys actually offered. 1,000 Toys did give you a black flag if you had got the special edition version of Ludens. So in this case, not having to worry about trying to capture a special edition version, you will get a black flag on there. So that's its only real perk. Where you get the black flag on here, what you lose in the small one that the big one actually gave you. The small one only gives you the transparent mask, where the larger one actually gave you the tinted one as well. So that is also another accessory that is lost, or in this case, traded off. All right. Now, as for the hands, you're going to get the same amount of hands as the large one come with. You're going to get good old ball fist here, which is really nicely sculpted and nicely painted and clean. You're going to get a grabby hand or a thumbs up hand, and also this pimp hand and strong hand. So you actually get those three hands. Now, as for the spear itself, this spear is pretty much designed the same way, where there's the peg, there's the hole, you plop that in, and then there you go, you have the full-size spear. And it actually is pretty easy to put together. Only thing I would say be careful with, this is nowhere near as strong as the 1,000 Toys version, which the 1,000 Toys version almost felt like metal or just really hard resin. This is actually much thinner, so just be careful. Don't want to break that because you will be looking disgusted after. So that is all of the accessories dealing with good old Ludens. Like I said, you get one more extra thing that the big one actually don't receive that's actually really nice with this small one. So it may matter to you, it may not. I actually did like that it came with it and kind of wish the big one had it. So I'll show you that to you in a second. But before I get to that, let's look at articulation dealing with Ludens. So there's a few things that you're going to receive on this that falls extremely short compared to the large one. first things first. Now, it could just be that my plastic is warped, so I'm going to probably have to put some heat to it to try to fix it. But my Ludens mask is absolutely trash. I wasn't trying to rhyme that. It just came out that way, but it is. The mask had a tendency not to actually stay on like it should. You just plop that there. It stays, but it is kind of on the flimsy side. So maybe once I put some heat to it, it'll actually stay like it's supposed to stay. Instead of this rocking back and forth like on the large one, this just pegs into the back of the head and it stays into place. All right. So for the most part, it's not going to fall out. It's just kind of sloppy sitting. It doesn't really fit well on there. So that's something I kind of don't really dig. But as for your, see how that falls apart like that? Definitely shouldn't do that. But overall, you can rock the head side to side, this far back and forward, and obviously you got your turn you can do. All right, now you do have the movable backpack like the big body boy, so it can hinge up and down and you can kind of spin it. All right, going to the arms, you are going to lose quite a bit of articulation here where it's on a ball joint peg going into two ball joints, one going into the arm, one going into the body itself. So you do get a nice range crossing the body, which obviously I don't think the big one can actually do. So this actually is kind of a nicer touch, obviously. But thing is, on here, bringing the arms out, these get in the way, where on the large one, you can actually maneuver these around, these big arm pads, and then move the arms up, which gave you a little bit more range to work with. In this case, you really can't do it that much. You can try, but to be honest with you, chances are you're not going to pull this shit off. So don't force nothing because you don't want to break nothing. All right. You're going to get a swivel right above the elbow. You get a slightly nicer bend in the elbow. Gets a little bit higher than your standard 45. You have a hinge here in the wrist. Nice straight range. Also, you can do a spin there at the wrist if need be. In the waist, it does have a cut in the abdomen section, but can't even use it just because really this here is one solid plate, where on the larger one, it's actually cut into two places. And it actually allows the top half to collapse upon the stomach, which gave you a nice ab crunch on a large one. Can't get that out of this. So that's kind of a downer. You can do slight rotations, not much, but just a little bit. As for rocking it side to side, go ahead and forget it. Even though it's there, you don't want to tear up any of these cords that's hanging from his body. So I would say don't try to do nothing extra if you don't have to. All right. Now, dealing with his leg area. So you got obviously thigh swivel right there. This comes in handy because here is the main flaw. The main flaw is because of his chest guard or stomach guard, whatever you want to call it, he cannot kick forward. That is far as good old Ludens leg goes. Unless you turn the leg, then you can lift. So now you got him looking really ridiculous, where the actual larger one, because they use cloth, it allowed the leg to go completely out to the side and completely forward. So the large one actually wins there again, dealing with articulation. Now going down to the knee, this is pretty much the same amount of bend. So that part didn't change. The knee pads obviously moved. That did not change. On the ankle itself, nice bend forward, nice bend back, and rock side to side. There you go. That is all the articulation, and that is what you're going to get out of this small version versus dealing with the big version. And the last accessory before my video cuts, you're going to get a art book, which is pretty dope. Quick little flash through. Nice amount of art you're going to get in there. So I would say if you want this art book, do yourself a favor and pick up the Ludens one. If you don't really care about the art book, if you had to compare between the two, I would say go with the larger one because the small one does fall short. No pun intended. Hope y'all enjoyed the review, and please check out more. Take care.